The Democrats are making this happen. As much as they want to turn around and blame Trump, it's not flying, it's not working. And what it comes down to is that $1.5 trillion. Money that would go to illegals for their health care. And you can slice and dice this any way you want. They say it's a lie, a lie, a lie, a lie. Well, guess what? They just got called out by none other than CNN, because it's not a lie, because all this money would go to all these different states that are then going to put it into their various programs to allow for illegals to have free health care. And people are not okay with that, not for $1.5 trillion. So AOC, deal with it. Here she is lying. Again, the punchline is she gets found out by none other than that liberal network, CNN.
No, not even a little bit, not even at all. This is what Republicans love to do. Whenever we fight to elevate the minimum wage, to expand Social Security, to make healthcare better in this country, in order to derail that, Republicans love to dangle this shiny object that says, but what if someone not like you gets it? The fact of the matter is, undocumented people do not and cannot access and be covered by the ACA, Medicaid, Medicare, period. There are dozens of laws in the books that enforce that, and that can be a whole other conversation. However, the fact is the Democratic proposal doesn't change that either. We are trying to change the immediate cliff where the ACA, as well as community health center funding and other kinds of healthcare funding, are about to go off a cliff and hurt millions of people.
Yeah, so that's what she says. That's what she says, right? But you already heard the very brilliant explanation from one Senator Kennedy. And the reality is AOC is totally wrong. AOC is flat out wrong. And as I explained to you, while there may be a law saying the federal government can't give the money to illegals, guess what? Doesn't bar the states from doing it. And all this money's going to the states. And guess what they're going to do? Yeah. And you know, that's not going over so well in good old California, where they're struggling big time. But, you know, AOC, well, she thinks she's the queen bee that's running the whole show, right? If somebody has an issue, they can go and talk to her.
What I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance. That's what's not going to happen. And so if those senators think that we're having a shutdown because of me, they're free to enter my office and negotiate, because what we're not going to do is allow all of millions of people in this country to not be able to afford their insulin and their chemotherapy. So come strike a deal with me if that's what they really think is going on.
You heard her. You heard her, okay? Come deal with me because I'm the one in charge. I'm running this whole darn show. Forget you, Chuck Schumer. Well, I'm after your seat. Watch out, Chucky. You know, your polls are not looking so good. I have a feeling AOC could take you for a ride there, and that's exactly what he's afraid of, for goodness sakes. Oh, and Nancy Pelosi. What's she supposed to do with this young little bartender coming up out of nowhere, right? Nancy being asked about who's really in charge here. Listen to her answer.
It was a thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she driving that?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
I'm just quoting what AOC said. She said go to her office directly. Do you think there's any credibility to that?
She's not directing this. She's wonderful. She's a real team player and the rest of that. You started by saying...
I thought she was going to say she's a real peach. Yeah, she's real wonderful. We really love that AOC. She's a team player, all right. I mean, she's holding us all hostage right now because she's threatening Chuck Schumer. She's coming for his job, but listen to the rest.
I can say that she's directing this. She is not. Hakeem Jeffries is. And this takes a lot of experience, a lot of unity from the caucus in terms of the point of view. And that's what this is. She's an articulate spokesperson for her point of view, Hakeem Jeffries.
Wow, Nancy, I think you're kind of bothered, a little hot under the collar there when it comes to AOC. You know, I don't like her either, so I'm with you, but you guys get yourself a little problem because you've gotten boxed in, okay? And your lies are getting exposed. AOC's lies are getting exposed. Hakeem Jeffries' lies are getting exposed. And you know where it's happening? Believe it or not, it's happening on CNN. I mean, I kind of think this one anchor, Jake Tapper, is angling for a new gig at Fox. You know, he's no fool. He sees where the handwriting's on the wall and nobody's watching his show and nobody's watching CNN. And so, you know, suddenly he started to change his stripes, looking for a new gig, buddy boy. Anyway, he takes down Hakeem Jeffries quite nicely with facts right here. Watch.
Donald Trump blessed it as well.
So let me ask you about a provision that the Republicans are talking about quite a bit. I know you want to talk about, and Democrats want to talk about, extending the Obamacare subsidies, which expire at the end of 2025. But they talk about the provisions, and it's right here, subtitle E, and this has to do with the repeal of healthcare subtitle changes, and specifically what it is. How they characterize it is, you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Yeah, not really a lie. Because again, what I told you about the states getting all the money. Okay, let's go on.
What you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. And also there is this provision, and it's not about undocumented immigrants, it's about people with asylum seekers and people with temporary protected status, et cetera, but about their ability to get Medicaid. So they're non-citizens, they're not undocumented, they're not illegal. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message? I understand that.
Yeah, why? Like, why? They have no answer. They have no answer. It's all about just, you know, we got to do the right thing by all these people. And by the way, you know, we used to have this money, so why can't we just keep it going? Right? We want this money to keep on coming because we put it in back during March 2020 when all HLL was breaking loose. So why can't we just keep it forever? And Donald Trump's like, no, you're not keeping it. You're not keeping it, especially knowing where it's going. All I can say is, you know what? I think people like him better with the sombrero.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know? At least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
My God, that is funny. I'm sorry. You know what? I wasn't going to show you this, but I have to. So long as we went to the original meme, and so long as I'm telling you know what, more people see Hakeem Jeffries when he's in these memes than see him on CNN, certainly any day of the week. But Hakeem tried to go on MSNBC and attack Donald Trump for that meme that he posted, and like, these guys are just no match for him, right? Like, he doubled down big time. And it's just going to make you laugh. And if you've already seen it, I'm sorry, but you know what? It's a lot of fun to watch again.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Okay. Their lies are getting exposed by CNN and by their own words, because for whatever reason, this team of people doesn't seem to get that, you know, they said one thing as recently as this last election season, and they can't completely change their minds on the fly just because, you know, it sounds better right now. Not to mention what's actually written into the legislation, which would provide, right, for all of this money to be going to all of these hospitals all over the country who are then turning around and giving the money to people who are here illegally. And that's not going to fly, certainly not with voters. I mean, you look at the Democrats right now, and we've seen in the poll numbers, they're really underwater. New York Times can't believe that Trump's approval rating hasn't budged. Like, they just can't believe this. They don't understand it. And partly it's because people see him as tough on crime. People see him as enforcing the border. They like that he's going to stand by and say, you know, we're not going to give $1.5 trillion more in health care to all these illegals, et cetera. So as a result of that, I think actually he's got the American public with him right now. The Democrats don't, because so many Democrat voters right now are saying, well, what about us? What about me? Like, don't you care about us? And I guess the short answer, in a way, right? And the short answer to that is it certainly doesn't feel like they do. I mean, I'm going to be even more bold, and I'm going to say that no, they don't care. They don't care at all about you. We did a little short on this just yesterday, and I want to play this for you because I think, actually, let me just play you the whole message here. This is Caroline Levitt, who is the PR person, right, for the Trump White House. And she had to record a message, and I'm sure she did not want to record, but she had to do it yesterday because this is the reality of where we are right now.
Make him call it.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line.
Hello, America. This is White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt. Democrats in Congress have shut down the federal government because they care more about funding health care for illegal immigrants than they care about serving you, the American people. Until Democrats vote for the clean, Republican-backed continuing resolution to reopen the government, the White House is unable to answer your call or respond to your questions. We look forward to hearing from you again very soon. And in the meantime, please know President Trump will never stop fighting for you. Thank you, and God bless you.
I mean, it shouldn't have to be this way, right? It should not have to be this way. So again, you got everyday folks out there saying, what about us? Don't we matter? Don't we matter at all? It doesn't feel like they matter, right? Especially when you look at some of the funding that's getting cut, including, by the way, for women and children. The whole WIC program possibly getting wiped out. Here's CNN talking about this, and I want to show you the response from Democrat voters because they're not happy.
The government shutdown could mean a federal program that provides food assistance to low-income mothers and children could run out of money in days. Sources tell CNN White House Budget Chief Russ Vought warned House Republicans yesterday it could happen by next week. The most recent government data shows that nearly 7 million women, infants, and children were eligible, for WIC benefits.
Folks are really concerned about, in the long run, can they rely on this program to get their needs met? We know that for babies, WIC provides 100% of their nutritional needs, whether that's supporting their mom with lactation consulting if they're breastfeeding, or providing potentially medical specialty infant formula. So that could be a real crisis.
Okay, so we get a real crisis. So some of those Democrats are saying, why are you allowing this to happen? They're not too happy about it at all. In fact, take a look at this one. Hey, Dems, you want to know why your polls are so low? Listen to this lady.
So the Democrats want to give away $1.4 billion of free money to the immigrants for health care. And if not, if the other side don't agree with it, they talking about shutting down the government. Why the do you fight so hard for everybody but your own people? What about us?
What about us? That's what everybody's asking. That's what you're pulling
dollars of free money. What about us?
What about us? That's what everybody's asking. That's what your polls keep tanking. Yeah. I mean, what about us? This is, in fact, why everybody is so upset right now. Because you cannot be out there working hard on behalf of everybody else. And I mean, I know that everybody thinks of the sombrero, like AI meme. It's a joke. I get it. But it's rooted in truth. It's rooted in at least the perception of where the Democrat Party is right now. So that woman's mad. And we're seeing person after person after person come out and say, you know, I used to be a Democrat. And I just feel completely abandoned by my party, and I am moving on. Here's another woman who says she's got the new fight song for the Dems.
Hi, I'm Debbie Democrat, and I'm here to teach you our new fight song for the Democrat Party.
Watch.
Non-Americans first. Non-Americans first. If you are a citizen, we don't like you. Non-Americans first. Non-Americans first, because you're the ones who vote for us.
Okay, you got it? I mean, this is really, I cannot believe that, like, people can be so tone deaf. I mean, whether it's the boys and girls sports, whether it's the we got to protect our pronouns, or whether it's we are going to fight for people who are here illegally as opposed to the people that are here legally. It just doesn't add up. And when you see yourself tanking in the polls, that should be obvious. I mean, this is the beauty of our great republic, right? In our democracy, guess what? We get to vote you out, and you got voted out for one reason, because you were doing a lousy job on the economy, actually several reasons. You weren't controlling the border, and you had massive inflation. So all of a sudden, Donald Trump comes in, he reduces inflation, he cleans up the border situation, and what do you know? He's actually saying, no, we're not going to spend crazy amounts of money, like $1.5 trillion, on a bunch of things that can actually go to illegals' benefits. And so that's where we are right now. And the Democrats are left asking, well, why? Why? What about us, right? The Democrat voters, I think I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to switch parties because this one just doesn't represent me anymore at all. And that's really, really clear. I mean, hey, they can't get any traction. I'm thinking about the stream they tried to do the other day. Do you know that Hakeem Jeffries went live with this whole like shutdown thing? And you'd think people would care. Like, I mean, it's the Democrats doing their big stream about the shutdown. Do you know that fewer than 200 people, we have more people watching this right now, like multiples of that right now, okay? Fewer than 200 people tuned in to watch Hakeem Jeffries with his live extravaganza. I mean, look at that. He even got Swalwell to show up for it to talk about the shutdown. Nobody came and watched. So the U.S. government shutdown, as you know, the other night at 12:01 a.m. on Wednesday after Senate Democrats blocked a GOP led stopgap funding bill. They went live with the stream and no one cared. Literally no one cared. House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries hosted a live stream in the hours before and after. I mean, this was like a, big show. And it drew only 156 viewers. 90 minutes before the shutdown began. I mean, wouldn't you think that people might be tuning in? In total, the Daily Caller reports that they actually garnered fewer than 100 views after running continuously for several hours through the early hours of Wednesday morning. It shows you people just don't trust them right now, do they? Because they don't feel like they're looking out for them. And right now we're in a situation where they didn't have to do, as Senator Kennedy articulated earlier, they just didn't have to do this. They could have actually had a clean CR and we could have moved forward and come up with some real solutions for the budget, but they didn't do that. And now we are where we are with lots of programs possibly being shut down. And guess what else? There's jobs that could just go away. I mean, really and truly go away for good. The guy who's running the OMB, that would be Russ Vought, he is working hard on coming up with some new strategic ideas on who to get rid of. And he's been given the authority effectively to do this because of this unique situation. I want to go right now to my former co-host, believe it or not, back at CNBC, good guy Larry Kudlow, who just had none other than Mike Johnson on his show saying that, yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to go. Watch.
Russ is the expert. He's our dear friend, and he's in an unenviable situation. It's not one that he relishes. Look, you and I and Russ and all conservatives, we've always wanted to limit the size and scope of government, but we'd rather do it through the legislative process and not under duress like this. So what Russ has to do, because he's the director of the Office of Management and Budget, he has to do what anybody in his position in this situation would do. That is to look at the balance sheet, to figure out how to make the dollars go to the services and the positions and the policies that are essential versus those that are not. Now, Russ is going to look at that through the same lens that Larry Kudlow and Mike Johnson would look at it, because he's going to say, which one of these makes sense? Which one of these follow the policy priorities of President Trump and this administration? Because that's who he works for. Now, if you had a Democrat, a big government, woke, progressive liberal sitting in that seat, they'd look at that balance sheet very differently. But Russ Vought has been given the authority to do this, and he's been given that authority by one man. His name is Chuck Schumer. Okay, Chuck Schumer led the Democrats in the Senate to hand that pen to Russ Vought. Yeah. And I think there could be some good that comes out of it if we limit the size and scope of government, but it is not a job that he relishes.
No, I mean, but it's where we are right now. Okay? That's the reality of what's happening. And there is one group to blame and one group only, because they could have kept things going, but they had to dig in their heels. A lot of questions have come up, right, about the efficacy overall of healthcare and healthcare for illegals, and people are here illegally, so what do you do? Are we responsible for them? This turned into a giant you-know-what show on CNN. It was kind of crazy, but what I found most interesting was that the liberal host of this show, who typically is on one side only all of the time, we see her agreeing with our friend Scott Jennings. So this is like a rare moment in time, okay? Because the question becomes like, okay, I mean, you may think it's ethically great to be able to cover the whole world, right? Why not bring everyone here and give them free healthcare and free housing and free food stamps and the whole 9 yards? I mean, it's a lovely, very, very altruistic thing to do, but then reality hits and reality bites. Somebody's got to pay for it. And she comes to this realization, not everybody there does. No, it is CNN and it's kind of a nut house, but it's interesting that she at least acknowledges that somebody has to pay for it. And you know who that is.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves
Just for the
healthcare.
record, as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves
That's a yes.
healthcare.
That's a yes.
I'm such a
That's a Democratic position.
It is a yes, but
It's a Democratic
everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
But I mean,
How is this controversial?
How is it controversial?
How is it controversial? She doesn't understand how saying everybody who is here illegally might be a little bit controversial. Well, let's hear more.
Controversial if they don't want someone to die in the hospital because they can't afford
Who
it.
do you think pays for health care when undocumented people show up at a hospital?
Bingo.
Who pays for that?
We all pay for it.
Exactly.
Bingo.
We all pay for
because
it.
they actually contribute.
That's the point. That's the point.
We do realize that undocumented.
Who pays for the welfare system in this country generally? Taxpayers.
She needs to hear that though. Like she needs to say that. Everybody needs. She said, everybody pays for it. Now let's see where it goes from there.
Are you for it or not?
Can I start my logic train?
Are you for it or not?
My logic train starts with the fact that I don't want to kick 11 million people off.
Do you want the illegal aliens on or not?
Do I want first of all, do I want undocumented citizens to have health care? The answer is yes.
Scott, if someone is
More
undocumented,
Democrats.
do you want them to not get insulin if they're diabetic?
I want Medicaid to exist first and foremost for American citizens who need it. What
about second? How about this? When the people that are picking your peaches. Yeah, I'm passionate about Americans.
Passionate for the illegals.
Bakari,
I'm passionate for Americans.
How dare you want people to be alive? How dare you?
Passionate for the illegals. Bring more.
No, I actually want safe and secure borders.
You need more. To make your vision of America work, we need more illegals who get more benefits. That's your version of America.
No, what I want from America is a place that was promised to us, Scott.
To the illegals?
Like you do. No, it was promised to us. It was promised to us, not us, me and you, black and white, brown. Scott, do you think that your family was born here? You weren't born here, Scott.
I was born in.
First of all, where does your family come from? My family wasn't born here. My family was actually from Sierra Leone.
You're making a passionate argument for a country built on unfettered illegal immigration, and that is not anywhere near a politically popular position.
Our country is built on immigration, period.
What kind?
Period.
What kind?
Oh, first of all, before we go to commercial, what kind of immigration was I brought here?
You're already in the hole. You sure you don't want to stop digging?
No, because it was slavery. That's not immigration.
Come on.
Well, okay.
Come on, what?
All right, there's a lot to be said.
Hold on. No. But you can't say come on when somebody's like, my family was brought here in chains. The answer is not come on.
We're going to.
Wow. Okay, so the interesting thing there is that the host seems to recognize that, you know what? It costs something, right? It costs something to have healthcare. And then that guy who thinks that somehow everyone is deserving. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Here's when did it suddenly become okay to immigrate to the U.S. illegally? Like, I don't understand how this is even controversial. Like, you can be all for immigration, but you want legal immigration, right? You don't want illegal immigration. The hazards that comes with are enormous. This should not even be up for debate. But, these people want to make it up for debate because they think that these ethical concerns about we got to take care of everyone, well, maybe you shouldn't come here because we can't take care of you. Right? I mean, this is getting a little bit silly, but this is where we are. The media, meanwhile, they're losing it.